Looks like my batteries are working now. Alright, what we have here is a 13-inch MacBook Pro Retina from 2015 with the issue of the touchpad is not working, but the keyboard is working. This is a unique problem because usually if the keyboard and the touchpad don't work, neither one of them work because they're kind of on the same circuit even though they're connected to the board separately. But this computer has a weird problem. There's no battery installed, so I'm going to have to use my power supply to get it to turn on. Oh, and there is customer's SSD in here, so we're going to externally boot so we don't reveal their information. It's a good thing I realized that. And actually we can't boot because as you can see, our touchpad is not working. I wonder if we can tab. Oh, we can tab to, we'll go to Catalina boot. So we'll boot in Catalina. The customer included a different touchpad, so this touchpad is just kind of sitting in the case. It's not actually screwed in. They didn't provide me with the correct screws for the touchpad, so it's just kind of sitting in there. I just wanted to demonstrate for the purposes of this video that the keyboard is fully functioning, although the touchpad is not. And is this a 2015? This can't be a 2015 because the fan is spinning. Excuse me, this is a 2014 model. My apologies. This is not a 2015, this is a 2014. You can tell because the fan is spinning. On the 2015s, the fan does not spin. And there you can see is our login screen. We'll go ahead and brighten it up and we'll hit our passcode, our super secret passcode. As you can see, the keyboard is working. Even the backlight on the keyboard is working. Now, I already know what's wrong with this machine. I just want to demonstrate in case someone else out there has the same issue with their 13-inch MacBook Pro Retina from 2014 to where their trackpad is not working. Now, it could be the cable or it could be the touchpad. We've ruled that out. The customer informed me that they've used 3 different touchpads and cables and it still didn't work. So at that point, once I visited their shop, we concluded that it's probably a board issue because it would be very unlikely that 3 trackpads would be bad. So we can use tab and we're going to scroll to apps and tools here. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to actually, the inspect program is here. Let's see if we can tab over to that or just hit I. What if we hit I? There we go. We'll hit I and we'll open it. As you can see, the touchpad is not working. Open. Why won't it open? I hit return. Shoot, I can't get I gotta be able to get the program to open. You know what I can do? We'll use an external mouse for now. Ah, that's what we'll use a Bluetooth mouse. So we'll plug the dongle into this side just so we can demonstrate that the keyboard works, because I like to be scientific like this. There we go. So now we'll open this program and we'll demonstrate that the whole keyboard works. Can't hit F11 because that closes the program. Oop, forgot the numbers. So as you can see, which led me to believe it's a board issue, the entire keyboard is functioning. So we know the keyboard part of the circuit is working, but the touchpad is not.
I found this on the web.
Great, Siri. I don't care. So we'll unplug our external mouse. And yeah, I mean, the owner can use an external mouse instead of the touchpad, but that's not very convenient, you know, when you have a laptop. You want your touchpad to work. But sadly, this touchpad does not. So we're going to look, and as you can see, the touchpad is plugged in. I checked the cable and everything. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and turn this machine off. Like I said, it doesn't have a battery in it. As the touchpad comes flying out, we're going to go ahead and close this up and remove the logic board, because like I said, I've inspected this and I already know what's wrong with it. And then we'll go ahead and repair it and test, and hopefully it'll be working again. This is significant because it had my customer stymied. Like, they changed all the touchpads. They've had this computer for quite a while and they were at their wits' end, and so they presented it to me when I showed up in their shop, and you know, I of course said sure, I'll take a look at it and see if I can go ahead and unplug the touchpad, see if I can figure out what's wrong with it for them. And you know, after a visual inspection, I kind of had an idea. After I did a cursory look under the microscope, I kind of had an idea of what was wrong. And I'm not going to spoil it by telling you, I'm just going to show you. Like I said, we'll go ahead and repair it, and we'll see if it fixes it, which will make not only me happy because I've presented a unique issue to everybody out there who may have this problem with their computer, but it'll also make my customer happy because now they can give their computer back to their customer, to the owner, and they'll have a working machine, which is a win-win for all of us. So we'll go ahead and remove the power to the I/O right side HDMI board. These are kind of tricky. They have these little pinch tabs on the side, so you kind of need two tools to get them out. Get the fan screws out of here. I am missing quite a few screws because, like I said, they took the battery out to get to the touchpad, and I'm missing this screw down here. And they did include the screws to the bottom. And then they included some other screws, but that's neither here nor there. Alright, we'll go ahead and, now we got the board out, we'll go ahead and remove the case. And we'll take a look under the microscope. So if you follow along here, right here is the touchpad connector. We're going to go ahead and flip the board end for end. So we are now in this area here. This is the underside. There are a bunch of test points. There's through-hole vias that come to the other side of the board. And just a second, sorry, I'll get the microscope view going here for you in just a second. Okay, we'll switch over to scope cam. Now, as you can see, these are the through-hole vias for the touchpad that come to the other side of the board, and some of the vias go inside other layers of the board, but these two are our focus of concern, because as you can see right there, this resistor right here looks damaged and it looks pretty nasty. And what that is, we'll go ahead and go on flex board view. I believe this is a 3476 board, and it is. So we'll go to Flex Board View. We'll open our 3476. I need to ask Paul Daniels why every time I open this, it just automatically opens a board on me instead of letting me choose. If it's a setting I missed or something. Anyway, that's doesn't matter. So here is the other side of our board. We're going to rotate it. I love this feature. Now we're here. So it's like we're looking at our board. Here is our resistor. So this is not populated. It's capacitor. We have two resistors here. R4808 is our resistor of concern. And that is PP3V3 T-pad connection. And it comes from PP3V3 S4. So if we do search on the PDF, I apologize, I can't show you the PDF. Or can I? Let's see, can I show you the PDF monitor? Yes, I can. Right here, PP3V3 S4 comes through R4808 and gives us 3.3 volts to PP3V3 T-pad connection. This is a 0 ohm 201 resistor. We're going to go ahead and switch back to scope cam, and we're going to measure this resistor. Should be 0 volts or 0 ohms, excuse me, which is basically a short circuit. And we are getting 2.8 mega ohms, which means our PP3V3S4 is not getting through to our touchpad to power it. So, my conclusion, or my hypothesis is, if we remove this resistor and replace it, we should have a working touchpad. So, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my fume extractor now. I think I may have to turn down the gain on my microphone because I'm going into the red. We'll take it down to minus 22.5 dB. Hopefully that's not too quiet. Turn that on. Got our hot air station, everything on. We're going to go ahead and remove that resistor and replace it. And hopefully we'll have a working touchpad when we're done. And by extension, a happy customer. Yeah, this resistor looks very charred. The one next to it looks just fine. Go ahead and grab some flux. We'll freshen up those solder joints with some 6337 solder. We'll also touch the joint up on this resistor because why not? It's right next to it. Sorry, I bumped the camera. Alright. Go ahead and get another logic board with the resistor on it, and we'll replace that. See, I need room here to remove it. You know what? My eyes are a little tired. I'm going to go ahead and put the donor board under the microscope and remove this. Okay. Our logic board. Go ahead and put this resistor on. Now my guess is that resistor got damaged because of liquid. I don't know if you noticed before I started soldering, but there was a little bit of a moisture ring around that, so something very well could have gotten into the case and corroded that poor little resistor. Why does that seem like it's not soldered? Oh, it is. It's probably just so hot that I'm heating up both sides of the resistor. And I'm touching it up. Alright. We'll go ahead and poke that, make sure it's soldered on. Yep, seems solid. Go ahead and give it a measurement here and make sure that it's reading 0 ohms, which is what it should measure for. Yep, 0.2 ohms, so that's close enough. Alright, we'll go ahead and take a little cotton swab and some IPA and clean up our mess here. We don't want to leave our mess behind. We want to leave it clean and tidy. I know it's hard to believe that one little resistor can render your touchpad non-operational. Just a second. I'll be right back. That's okay. Alright, we're going to hold Option. We're going to boot this device. I'm going to tilt the screen back slightly so you can see what I'm doing. Let's get all my screwdrivers and everything out of the way. Okay, so now we have our options up. This will be our first test. And as you can see, our mouse is now working. Our touchpad, excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and use, there's no trickery. You can see my test mouse is in the drawer. I don't have anything plugged in, obviously, besides the power and stuff. So we'll go ahead and boot into Catalina. It's going to take a minute because we don't have a battery plugged in. So I apologize for the delay, but I think the result is worth it. All right. Go ahead and plug in our secret password there. And as you can see, we now have a moving mouse cursor. If I pick up this and move it around, you know what I'll even do? Let's move the device in view. so you can see me messing with the mouse. I'll come over here, click this folder, drag it around, drop it there, double click. Yep. So we now have a working touchpad. So we just replaced C4808 and now we have a working touchpad. I want to thank you for watching this video. I enjoyed making this content. Hopefully someone can find this useful. And we'll see you in the next repair video. Have a good night. Bye for now.